Namaste.
So I think we have the overall state number now.
Let's go to that. Let's go to that. Interesting insight that she gave, that I realized as Gen Z that the social media world and what's happening on ground, the real world, are very different. And that's a very candid admission that came from a first timer. Let's now look at the numbers. We got the full set of numbers from Bihar. Let's try and see what the updated numbers are, and we'll put out our numbers also, the News 18 mega exit poll numbers, after we take a look at the poll of polls, viewers. Let's see what the number is. There an upward, downward revision somewhere? Matriz has made an upward revision. Matriz has pushed those numbers up to 167. So it's looking stronger for the NDA. Look at JVC, says 150. Let's look at the higher numbers, and there are more numbers which are getting closer to the 160 mark at the upper end for the NDA. What's happening with the INDIA? Is there a downward revision? No. Chanakya strategy keeps it at 108, but JVC poll takes it to 103 and 102. So there are 4 pollsters who are actually giving the MGB the possibility of breaching the 100 mark, but yet falling nearly about 15 to 20, 20 to 22 short of the majority number. The other part, look at Jansuraj. He's drawn a blank. 3 years of effort there, trying to be the voice of the opposition or voice of the people against the ruling or the incumbent and displace the opposition. Has Prashant Kishore given it all, down the drain by deciding not to contest, or what's happened there? One has to see. The others, well, there are some of the pollsters who are giving double-digit projections or near about double-digit projections to the others. Will that really manifest? Will the likes of VIP, will the likes of some of the other smaller parties on both sides, NDA and all, turn out the strike rate or perhaps pull in the votes that they're supposed to? We have to wait and watch. But overall, if you were to see 1, 2, 3 pollsters, 4, if you were to take People's Pulse also, 4 pollsters are giving the NDA more than 160 or about 160 at the higher end. That means the target set by the NDA and Amit Shah at 160 is possible. There is no outlier so far. There is no outlier in all of these numbers so far, and one would wonder why. Usually, exit pollsters, there is somebody who's an outlier. This time, there is no outlier. They're all within a similar band, plus or minus 10 seats, but that's where they are. Everybody is giving them more than 130 seats, the NDA, but less than 170. And it's in that range for the NDA, and it's NDA all the way. There's nobody who's saying that the MGB has a chance. Now let's look at the breakup. This is the mega exit poll. Overall numbers for CNN News 18 and the News 18 network. 140 to 150 seats for the NDA, 85 to 95 seats for the INDIA. Jansuraj could get up to 5 seats, and the others are 5 to 10 seats. So who are these others? We'll look at the breakup. Let's take it across to our panel. Rahul Shivshankar, were you expecting 140 to 150, or will this be more? Or is it that this is a trend? And if this trend stays, then that 160 number could be breached.
Yes. So decisive, I think it's going to go to 170.
Yeah, it's going to swing the other way, right?
Either you have anti-incumbency or you don't have anti-incumbency. So it has to be either a sweep, and that's what Amit Shah has been saying, the Union Home Minister. In fact, in an interview to Rahul Joshi, Editor-in-Chief, he came out and said very clearly that I'm not expecting anything less than a 2/3. And if the voter is so decided and so decisive at a time when so many of them have come out, I don't see, and if there's a 4% or a 3.5% gap between the two, and the LJP is kicking in and so on and so forth, then I don't think this is going to be.
But the last time there was a 170 plus returns in the elections was in 2015 when the RJD and the JDU came together, and that tie-up was formidable because the caste bases came together, and
MGB had 114 last time. This time they are minus about 10-15 seats.
See, the 140 number seems very credible to me because on the ground, from my colleagues also who had travelled and who were travelling in interior, JDU had a lot of goodwill, Nitish Kumar had a lot of goodwill, but there was a feeling for BJP that they had no good state level leaders, there was no affection for their current lot of leaders, and there was also always a lot of doubt whether they would try and take on the Chief Minister's chair if voted. So it could happen that JDU's strike rate could be better, and that could be reflected.
Could it emerge as the single largest party?
Number two, I also want to say that In terms of whatever I have spoken to people after the first phase of polling, there is an apprehension about Jan Swaraj, about them cutting into votes, especially in urban areas among young people and
we'll
young upper caste.
We'll see about that.
People.
But
so,
that
is one thing that needs to
fundamental issue is, and Rahul Verma, please weigh in on this. Last time the NDA was 125, it was 3 above 122, which is the halfway mark. If all of these polls are right, you're basically looking at the NDA having expanded its voter base. If you have to go from 125 to at the very minimum 140 or at the outer end 170, which means you've added new voters. Who are these new voters?
The LJP
maybe
guys
not, 38, 39 plus 5 or 6% of LJP is already
So
45.
the LJP is the only differentiating factor.
Well, it's a big factor, right? Like
Okay.
it alone gives you a 45% sort of like range.
Then Upendra Kushwaha's outfit was not with these people.
Last time,
Not
I
just
think-
that, there are voters who have not voted the last time have come on because the
Yeah.
voter percentage has gone up, no?
Yeah.
There is a significant jump. So there were voters who may have refrained from voting the last time around because they were disenfranchised at that time.
Bihar is the youngest state in India. There is a youth bulge in Bihar.
Yeah.
That may mean that younger. We'll have to see the data. We haven't seen the data yet.
It may also
mean some of the
mean
new first-time voters are.
it may also
Converting
mean
the
that
NDA over the
Zaka, it may also mean that 60 lakh people who had voted in Lok Sabha are not voting in this election.
No, but the 60 lakh people.
So half of them are dead. More than half of them are
those
dead.
60 lakh
voters.
people are dead. No, 60 lakh people did not vote. They were part of the voter rolls, not necessarily that they voted Rashid
I mean,
Kidwai.
potentially, anybody who's in a voter
I
list-
request you to frame your sentence very carefully.
No,
They didn't vote
potentially-
there, sir. They were
no,
part of the
poten-
voter rolls.
How do you know? If you are in
They
a
were
voter
part of the
list,
voter
whether you
rolls and
voted
they've
or
been
you're not
removed.
voted,
They're
that's
part of the
different.
voter rolls.
I'm
they've
just
been removed.
pointing at
Sir,
letting
the largest
Commission-
number of voters
What I'm
will
saying is
remove
absolute
were
number of
deceased
voters.
voters.
Absolute number of voters may have come down overall, but the absolute number of voters has also gone up because the rise in percentage is disproportionate to that. But you're saying something.
The absolute number of voters, according to the EC figures, the only thing that they haven't revealed is how many of them were so-called Ghuspetiyas. But the fact is, a large number of them were deceased voters,
Yeah.
or voters that had left the state. That was around 85% of the voters that have been excommunicated from the voter rolls. So I'm only stating a fact.
No, in double engine ki sarkar, how can there be so many Ghuspetiyas?
No, but they've not revealed the Ghuspetiya
Now
number.
we are digressing.
They've not.
80% of them were.
But
they
what
were
does that
part
tell
of the
you?
ro- They were.
Rahul? Why have they not revealed the
They were
number
pa-
of illegals?
Look, why are you putting
They were-
in
they were part
a
of the
situation where, let's
They were
let's
part
talk
of the
about the
rolls,
most
but they
definitive
didn't
issues
vote.
of this election.
But the larger question, but Sandeep ji, if you were to look at it, does the NDA show that they can manage alliances better? The BJP show that. Does the BJP realize what are the factors and they're ready to course correct faster than the MGB does?
I think it's clear if these numbers hold that the NDA's alliance chemistry has been much more effective. It's important to highlight the fact that if these numbers hold, the two principal parties within the NDA, the BJP and the JDU, have done well. And on the other hand, in the Mahagathbandhan, it may well be that the RJD continues to do as well as it did last time, but its partners within the alliance, especially the Congress, has been the weak link, and that has contributed to the Gathbandhan being where it is in the exit polls that are seen. So if what the exit polls show us actually shows up on Friday also, then it indicates that the alliance chemistry for the NDA has been very, very effective, and the alliance coming together in the Mahagathbandhan had its serious challenges.